Hey guys, my name is Jessica, if you don't already know me, and if you do, then welcome back to my channel. Happy to have you. So as you can tell in the title, I'm going to be introducing you guys to my brand new Chanel bag that is my first, and I honestly can't believe that I actually have it. I've dreamed of owning a Chanel for a very long time. So I wanted to tell the very unique story of how I acquired it because it's probably an option for you as well. But if you're like me and you don't come from money, you don't exactly drop thousands of dollars on a single purchase at a time, then this is more of an option for you. And I don't want to keep dancing around the topic, so let's just get into it. First, I'm going to introduce you to the bag, and then we're going to get to the part where I got the bag without actually having to pay for the bag, although I did actually pay for the bag in a way, but we'll get to that. So anyways, here she is. Ta-da! She is a beige medium double flap Chanel. From what I understand, based on the date code inside, she was manufactured between 2006 and 2008, which puts her right on the cusp of vintage. She's not like used, she's vintage. And so she's got the gold hardware, which is what I was waiting for. I saw a couple bags come through the boutique that I got her from, and a lot of them had silver hardware, so I had to, really remind myself of what I wanted, that I want one with the gold hardware, so I'm gonna wait. And then she's got the chain that can be worn across body or just on the shoulder if you want to double it up. And inside we have the first flap, so there's a little pocket at the front here, and then there is the main pocket here with two pouches here, and then we have the second flap right here, which just opens up into another little area to put things. When I was in France, they told me that this part here is for people who are like pickpocketers. So like when they go to like open the flap and put their hand in to steal stuff from your bag, it doesn't actually land in anything, and it's more of a protective cover. And then you keep everything in the double flap. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a bit of information that I picked up randomly when I was in Paris before I even owned any Chanel products. And I thought that was so cool because one thing that they tell you in Paris is like ton sac est ouvert, or like attention ton sac. Is like watch your bag. And like in Canada we're just like hi, how are you? But in Paris it's watch your bag. And I wanted to throw in that little bit of information. Again, I don't know if it's right or not. I have not fact checked it. However, it seems legitimate, because like, yeah, if you're gonna like pickpocket someone, you wanna get in and get out. And then in the back here we have, I think it's called the smiley pocket. And from what I know, I think this is where like Coco Chanel would keep money to tip people with. So we have this like little pocket right here. The bag did come pre-loved, so I did want to talk a little bit about the condition first. And so outwardly, nothing really appears to be super like damaged. In the first flap, she's got some marks here as well, just from rubbing from the chains. And then it has some light scratches that just look like it's from fingernails, like coming. So now I want to talk about why I chose to get a pre-loved Chanel bag. For one, I've always wanted a vintage bag. I've been into the Chanel store before. It doesn't feel right to go in there and drop like $6,000 on a bag, because guaranteed the second I walked out of that store, if it got a single scratch on it, I would be devastated. One, because I am not ready to spend $6,000 on a purse, this I know. And secondly, I don't think I would actually be able to enjoy it as much and have fun with it and wear it out, because I would be so worried about preserving it. So I chose to get a pre-loved bag because, and this one especially is a really good example of this, but you can see here that it has some wear from where the chain has rubbed on it over time. And that's something that is inevitable. Like that will happen with your bags. And I would rather get a bag that's already gone through that process and has been, like discounted because of it, than get a brand new bag and then watch the same thing happen to it over time. So yeah, those are my reasons for getting a pre-loved vintage Chanel purse. And now I'm gonna tell you the story of how I got this bag without actually paying any money for it, although I did actually pay for it, but we'll get to that. The story begins possibly 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Courtney and I couldn't quite figure it out, but it was around then that I got invited to a media event at a consignment luxury boutique here in Vancouver, BC called Mine and Yours. So the way that the store works is that you can bring them your luxury items and they either buy them from you at a lower percentage or they give you credit for the store for a higher percentage. So what I started doing is I started bringing them clothes, shoes, accessories. Basically whatever I fell out of love with, I would bring it to Mine and Yours and exchange it for credit. So the products that I would bring to Mine and Yours, I would get from a couple different sources. Some of the time it was stuff that I already owned and I would bring it to them when I wasn't super in love with it anymore. And there would be the odd times that I'd be in a thrift store and I would chance upon a luxury item. And when I'm thrift shopping, like I'm thrift shopping for me, but every so often I would find something like really high end. Like one time, I kid you not, I found a Balenciaga tank top at a thrift store for $2.99. And I'm talking like $2.99. So I bought it and I brought that to Mine and Yours and exchanged that for credit. A majority of the products that I brought in and exchanged were products of my own, and slowly I was building up my credit over this 3 years, and at first I didn't really know what I was saving for. So it was around the 1.5 to 2 year mark that I decided I wanted to get a vintage Chanel because they were getting in a lot of really cute ones. And so I decided that was what I was going to be saving for. And then it wasn't until I want to say the 1 year mark that I actually shared this with the store. So I actually shared with Courtney, the store owner, what I was saving up for, and it just made her so much more excited so that we were able to actually like be working towards this goal together in some way. So like new Chanels would come in and they would always be really cute but never exactly what I was looking for. Like they would have silver hardware, or they would be a jumbo, or they would be like too small, and I was like, no, I really want that classic medium. So all in all, it took me about 3 years to save up the money that I needed. And the way that it happened was absolutely insane. I had come into the store to get a dress for a wedding, and when I was in, if you've ever been into Mine and Yours, they have their buying desk at the back of the store. So I was back there talking to Courtney. The bag, she was on the corner and she had a little price tag, and I was looking at it and I was like, I haven't seen that bag on their Instagram stories or on their Instagram or on their website. Courtney, what's the deal with this bag? And she was like, we just got it in. She's vintage. Do you want to take a look? And I was like, yes. So I tried the bag on. I absolutely loved it. She was like, okay, let me check how much credit you have. And so she checked. You guys, I had enough to get it. I could have got, ooh. And this was the moment where like the stars lined up perfectly. It was beige, medium, vintage Chanel with the gold hardware. I had enough in credit to get it, so I would not have to spend a penny. And I just said, yes, 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 let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, it's mine, I'm taking her home. And like right then and there, we like rung up the whole thing. It was so exhilarating, I can't even put it into words. But here we are, almost a month later, and she's here. She hasn't disappeared yet. She's absolutely real. And it's like a match made in heaven. So I really wanted to share the story because it's such a unique purchasing journey to be saving up credit for 3 years and then finally use that credit to get my very first vintage Chanel. And I wanted to share this mostly because I don't think a lot of people are aware that that option is available to them. A lot of the time, if you think about the way that people buy things, you know, if someone gives you like $500, are you likely to buy one thing with $500 or 500 things, you know, that are $1 each? A lot of the time people go for the quantity over quality because it just feels better to spend that way. And so I think a lot of the time, and I'm gonna go ahead and like make a total judgment, but I think the same thing applies to stores that you're building up credit at. Like if you have a consignment store near you and you've been building up credit for a long time, I don't think a lot of people think about what they could achieve in 3 years because it's all about that instant satisfaction. What can I get now? What can I get in 3 months? Instead of like, what can I get in 3 years? So this particular instance was very much a set it and forget it scenario. Like I had to like put that money like out of sight, out of mind, not even think that I had it, but also continue to like remember to bring like my product there if I was ever ready to let go of some things. If you're in the market for a vintage Chanel bag, I definitely encourage you to check out luxury consignment boutiques near you. Check out what they are offering for credit back, because a lot of the times, and it will be higher than it would be if you just got cash for something. And it's really like a secret little savings account that you keep putting money into. And then at the end of a little bit, you know, you have a Chanel bag. So it's like, getting interest, but it's a Chanel. So yeah, I wanted to share that story with you guys just in case it's something that you haven't considered if you're thinking of getting a vintage Chanel for yourself. I know that what goes around comes around operates on a similar level. If you're bringing in luxury items, they will give you a credit, but don't overlook your local consignment stores, especially if they specialize in luxury, which Mine and Yours does. Like, it comes with a fully vetted authentication and everything, so I really trust that the product that I have is authentic. It smells authentic. Plus, I get to support a local female-owned business, and that is obviously the cherry on top. So if you're a Vancouver local, definitely check out Mine and Yours. They're always updating their Instagram stories and their Instagram with new products. And if you're interested in getting a specific product like I was, I would highly recommend emailing them or DMing them and getting on their waiting list, because a lot of their products are actually sold before they even make it to their Instagram stories. And this is something that I learned, and I was like, okay, well, get me on one of those waiting lists, because I don't know how many Chanels have been sold without me even knowing they were in the store. Hello? So that's my little tidbit of advice for you. Thanks for hanging out with me during this story time. I absolutely love learning to me they're like little life hacks, and I love learning them and sharing them with you guys just to make life a little easier. It definitely makes me feel good about my very first Chanel purchase. So if you've made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a little comment in the comments down below, because I love hearing from you guys. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.